Welcome to the Home Comfort Zone podcast. I'm Teresa, Marketing Manager at All Comfort Services, and today I have Austin Palm from Bucky Book.
Hi, yes, nice to be here.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So, can you just show the book just a little bit?
This is what we're
talking about.
Yeah, this is our 33rd edition book. Came out last September. We're actually in the process right now putting our 34th edition book together. We've got about a month left. We're about 80% done, so we're excited. It's our busiest time of year probably. Getting 300 plus businesses in the book and getting everything rolling for our new edition to come out.
And it comes out, I think, September?
Yeah, 1st of September. We get it produced locally in Beaver Dam. Produce 50,000 books every year. And yeah, it's about a 3-week turnaround for production. Takes us about 7 months to put the book together. So once we submit it, 3 weeks to return it. We have about 30,000 books that get delivered the 3rd week of August, which we then distribute to our fundraising groups. We have 140 fundraising groups that we distribute to. And they converge 2 sides, west and east side of Madison. They come and pick the books up, and away we go. And then they're out and about in the community. So,
how did Bucky Book get started? What's its history?
Yeah, so John Flitz was the owner, and I worked for Bucky Book for 15 years. So he did this. This is our 33rd edition, obviously. So I started working there. I think the 15th edition was my first book, and so John Flitz started it, and he actually started it with just a small little coupon book. I think Bucky Book 1 through 5 was very tiny, maybe like 50 pages. And it was more of a hobby for him, I think, at the time. He obviously made money, but it was about him supporting the community and trying to start something that, could help communities raise money and, support athletic groups and Boy Scout troops and all kinds of different things. It just evolved and took off. I think the linchpin for the growth was the licensing agreement that we have with the University of Wisconsin. And when he got that licensing agreement, I think it was Bucky Book 11 that started. That's when it really took off, and community support, and that's a huge part of the Bucky Book is the community. And so when he got that licensing agreement and tied in with the university, it really spiraled into something great. And yeah, so I started working there, Bucky Book 15, and I just purchased it from him 5 years ago, which I believe Bucky Book 29 it would have been. It's kind of a weird cycle with it being a 13-month product, but Bucky Book 29 was my first edition that I guess I was the owner and put it together with my team. That was the first year we did it. So that's how it started.
And it's really a fixture, and you can't talk to somebody and they wouldn't know. They know what Bucky Book is.
Yeah, and that's a credit to him. He really did build the brand. I worked there for roughly 15 years before I purchased it. So he taught me everything I know, the ins and outs. And, it's a coupon book, and it seems like a small product, but there are a lot of moving parts that go into it. Putting the book together is about 7 months. Like I said, dealing with 300 businesses and trying to make sure the offers that they're putting in the book are going to work for them for 13 months and the ROI is going to be there. And, when you offer a 2-for-1 or 50% discount in the book and it's out there for that long, you want to make sure that, when a consumer's redeeming it, 1, it's good for the consumer and they're saving money. But then 2, that the business owner is, offering something, whether it's a service or a product or, going out to eat, whatever it might be, that they're going to be happy with that for 13 months and having that being redeemed. So it's kind of that balancing act where you want to make sure it's valuable for the consumer, but also, the business is happy with when they receive a coupon too. So
how can someone get the Bucky Book?
Yeah, so, we always try and support our fundraisers. So we'd say option 1 is to look for a fundraising group in your area to be able to purchase one. But then we also do have roughly 150 retailers that sell the book. Walgreens, so at your local Walgreens, you can pick one up. Hy-Vee, which is a sponsor of ours. Hy-Vee is a great partner. Lots of savings in there. I mentioned Walgreens, Woodman's, Mounds Pet Food Warehouse, Animart, Dane County Humane Society, Goodwill. So you add all those up, and you can pretty much find one anywhere near you.
We're an advertiser, and that. When I asked, well, what kind of a coupon do we put in there? You said one that you don't offer, one that's better than those are the rules. And I thought, well, that's good. It's an exclusive sort of book, so the consumer is getting a lot of value.
Yeah, they really are. It's a $35 product. So when a consumer makes an investment into a product, whether it's supporting a local charity or nonprofit, or just purchasing it to save money throughout the year on all the stuff that they're going to do. You want to make sure that, yes, it does work for the business. And I wouldn't say necessarily a different offer than more so, an offer that is going to be good for you, that's going to work, that the consumer is going to see value in. But yeah, coming up with a 2-for-1 or 50%, depending on your business or the industry you're in, can be difficult sometimes to think through that. And that's where I guess, me and my team, we have a lot of experience in trying to help businesses because, like I said, we want the offer to be advantageous, for the business as well, not just the consumer. So
absolutely. And if people aren't familiar with Bucky Book, even though most are, maybe the categories that are
Yeah.
in there are everything from like,
I mean, that's great. Yeah. So grocery section, I think there's 13 sections in there. So grocery section, golf, food and pizza, which is like your, Pizza Huts and Rocky Rococos and places like that. You got your fine dining, which we call our dining section, bonefish and melting pot and Monk's Bar and Grill. Health and beauty, we have an automotive section for like oil changes and tire rotations. A Wisconsin Dells section for families to be able to go up to the Dells and have a getaway. So yeah, I mean, the services section, which you guys are in, and the home improvement section. So we really cover it all, whether you're a family with, kids or you're an individual just looking to go out and do something fun. We look at it as a community book that'll help support the community with fundraisers, but then also provide, families and consumers the ability to go out and save money throughout the year and still do their normal stuff that they do anyway, but be able to save some money and check out some new places that maybe they wouldn't even know was in Madison. So
absolutely, if you're visiting Madison for a week, you could buy that book and get a lot of value out of it.
Yeah.
You can buy that book and just put it in your car.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait a minute, is it in the Bucky Book?
That's right. Yeah.
And make some plans.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. Subway and Melio's and some of those things that are highly frequented businesses. I mean, definitely you could get your money's worth out of it in one day if you really wanted to. But I think, being a 13-month product, it is nice to, have that, I guess, accessible throughout the year to be able to, like I said, check out new businesses, see what's in there. And it drives, for new businesses that are opening up, it does help, drive floor traffic for them too. So
absolutely. And so a lot of nonprofit groups take advantage of this. How many nonprofit groups are participating?
Yeah, it's anywhere from like 120 to 140 a year. We're diligent in making sure that we're not oversaturating, a certain community with too many fundraising groups. I think we try to cap it around 4 to 5, depending on the market or that community size. You just don't want to compete against each other. We try not to have, one school system having 2 or 3 different groups in that school selling books. We just want it to be successful. And I think that's kind of the backbone of the Bucky Book too, is that, when we have a business in the book or a fundraiser who sells the book, they do it every year and it works for them. So we're respectful of the community and who we're partnering with to make sure that, it's going to work and that they'll want to keep doing it every year. And it's a good business model. And then it also is something good for fundraisers to, rely on every year to know that, hey, if we're going to sell the Bucky Book, we're going to make, X amount of money every year that is going to go back to buying uniforms or helping a school group go to DC or whatever it might be. So yeah, we try to limit it. I mean, as a business, it'd be great to, be able to say, hey, here's 200, nonprofits that we, sell the Bucky Book through. But, even though that might be good for Bucky Book, it's not necessarily good for, the communities and the groups that are selling the books per se. So yeah, we try to be careful of that, but 120 to 140 groups, which is a lot for South Central Wisconsin. So we have a 45-mile radius in which we sell the book. We do have a Rock County section in the book too, which I didn't mention. So that's down in Janesville and Beloit, that area. And then we go to the Dells, a little north of that, out to Watertown, and then Spring Green going east. So or west. Yeah.
So if a nonprofit group wants to get involved, what are the steps?
Yeah, actually, it's really easy. You just reach out to us. We have it on the back of the book. We have it on our website. So if you email us, info@buckybook.com, you're able to just inquire about, raising money and selling the book. It's very simple. Like I said, when we get the book the 3rd week of August, we like to give our fundraising groups a 2 or 3 week head start before we actually set up our retailers. So yeah, if you inquire about it, we send you the information, and it's really just an LOI, and you come that 1 or 2 days. If you're on the east side, you come to the east side location, the west side location, and pick up your books, and you're basically set to go. And yeah, it's not too much, it's not too hard, it's not too difficult to get set up with it. So I think that's one of the major, I guess, benefits of it is once you're in and you know kind of the program and how it works, which is really easy, then you can really be and make as much money as you want, be aggressive as you want.
What are some fundraising groups, some interesting ones that you've come across?
Yeah, so I mentioned the baseball teams and some of the traveling stuff, and then also the school groups and the trips they take. But sometimes when unfortunately a family might come down with a health issue, whether that be cancer or something else, we do have some families that will sell the Bucky Book and raise money for medical bills and causes like that. So it's nice to not just have the big groups who sell them and go towards big campaigns, but also to support a family maybe that's in need.
Do you have any success stories?
Oh man, yeah, we have a lot of them. I think the cool thing for us is when we put this book together, because we're a pretty small company. I mean, we only have 3 employees. So, for us, the 7 month of putting this book together, we put our blood, sweat, and tears into it. So when we have some fundraising groups who we'll go to DC on a school trip. That's one that is pretty cool. We have groups every year that do that, and we get to hear about their trip and how that works. That's always fun to hear about that. we have some athletic teams who raise money for like new uniforms and equipment. It's pretty cool to hear about some of the stuff that they're doing and the tournaments they travel to and that sort of thing. Boy Scout troops and being able to go, on their trips and do the things that they do to support them. So, a majority of the groups who sell this book are youth groups. And it's fun to be able to give back to the community in that way and kind of hear those different things that they're doing, whether, like I said, it's a Boy Scout troop or an athletic group or a school group. So I guess there's a lot of them, but it's fun to hear about, the experiences that they have from the money they raise and what it goes towards. So,
what kind of investment do these groups have to do to get going on it?
None. It's free. So, there's no upfront cost. The books are on, contingency, so you don't have to, or consignment. You don't have to put any money up front. So if however many you sell, great. The other ones you don't, you just give them back, and we settle up at the end. So there's no upfront cost.
Sounds like a great program.
Yeah, it works. It works. I mean, I think that's why we've been around 33 years. So yeah, it's a good community project for sure.
Is there anything you'd like to tell everybody?
Well, I think the one cool thing that for me is, it's a family product. And so, I bought it from my boss, and, I'm a family guy. And I think my son loves this. He'll come and set up retail with me, and he'll go to the fundraising distribution event and help me pass out the book. So, my vision is to, obviously keep this in the family forever. And I think he'll probably want to do it one day, or my daughter. My son's name's Carson. My daughter's name's Leella. And so I think one day they'll probably want to take it on and have it be a family business too, which is kind of cool for, me being a family guy. So I hope they do. You can't control what your kids do when they get older, but he seems to have a passion for it. So I think that's a fun part of a small company and a small business is that, it stays in the family, and, you keep working towards something as a goal, and it helps people, and it's a good thing for everybody. And, I think being a family guy, it's good to have a family product that, is something that's in the community. So, yeah.
Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to us today.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.